I saw this tweet from a Nielsen report about July's kind of report of what people watched. And they say July is like the summer month, or at least the last summer month, people going back to school in August. And really, sports are really down. There's not a lot of sports options outside of like baseball and a couple of things. Like, for example, the most watched thing was the Home Run Derby, which only had 5 million views, which is really interesting when you think about some of the most popular YouTubers. But streaming really had almost 50% of the engagement in this month. And it just shows how quick and slow, I would say, things change. I remember when I first got married, one of the first things, probably not a great financial decision, was I got DirecTV. I needed cable because I wanted to be able to watch games and have the DVR and all that. And you kind of fast forward now, 17 years later or whatever it is since I've been married. And streaming is it. And I remember 2017 when YouTube TV came out and how big of a deal that was, because now I no longer needed a cable box. I could do it all, via streaming and all that. But what's interesting is just to watch this change. More and more people are watching less broadcast, and more people are going to platforms like Netflix. Like, I think Netflix had the top 8 of the 10 most watched things in July. And then you have these random things. And one of the things that is also really important is that there's a lot of variables to these viewing habits. And so even it's kind of like with churches, understanding your art, it's complex. Like, one of the top 20 shows was it's ABC World News on broadcast. And then also on Netflix, one of the most watched things was this K-pop Demon Hunter thing. Animation thing. And so some of this stuff is hard, but one of the things is to understand is that stuff is changing so quickly. And just because maybe you don't want to cut your broadcast deal and you don't want to go full streaming, you might change your mind over time. And this is one of those things that I think it's actually moved a lot slower than expected. I can't believe still broadcast stuff exists, because the ease of use of some of these streaming stuff is so easy. The other thing is, and I think this is for most churches, as more people move to streaming, they're going to have these devices and stuff is going to be discoverable. So one of the things you really got to think about is your YouTube presence, because every one of these streaming boxes has a YouTube app, and that means your church is discoverable there. So I think the tension that church is going to have to navigate is from like their live interactive experience on the church online platform to just being discoverable on YouTube, because I think YouTube is going to be overall a better experience over the next 5 to 10 years. But there's a link to this full report. It's super interesting, and I think Nielsen does a great job breaking stuff down now.